viewers, and welcome back to another educative episode on the Consulting Room. Thank you for always joining us. We come to you live from the studios of Hope Channel Ghana every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. I'm Dr. Na Ayikako Inen. You're welcome again to tonight's show. I believe for a few weeks now we can all testify that there's been a change in the weather or the environment. Sometimes you wake up and it's so difficult to see. It's like you can almost see particles in the air. Sometimes you wake up and it looks orange. Is this something we should be concerned about? What exactly is happening? We've been warned that the air in Accra is unhealthy, and if possible we should stay indoors and hydrate. We'll get this and more tips on tonight's show, so please do stay tuned. Our topic for today is the current weather and environmental conditions. What are the implications on our health? And as usual, we bring you the experts to talk about this. So in the studio with me tonight, I have Elder Samuel Oting, who is the Regional Director of the Greater Accra West Region of the Environmental Protection Agency. Elder, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And joining us virtually, we'll have Dr. Emmanuel Asante joining us. He's not in now, but as we go on, he will join us and then we can have a conversation with him as well. So please do stay tuned. As usual, you can send in your comments and questions. We'd like to interact with you. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Calling all churches, join the National Bible Bee.
You will think that the Messiah appears only in the New Testament. But which text? In the Old Testament, the Anglican Church of Ghana.
Isaiah chapter 53, verse 4 to 7.
And that is correct. So 15 words are scattered on a crossword sheet. They would need to identify all the words within 3 minutes. Now, the person who finishes within the time first also win an extra 3 points.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to participate in the National Bible Bee. Register your church today and inspire the youth in your congregation to dive deep into God's Word. Register now and inspire the next generation. For more information, contact us at 0248 176916 or 0508 080774. Email nbbghana@gmail.com. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the youth within your church community. The National Bible Bee, implanting the living word through the written word.
Welcome back to the Consulting Room. We are talking about the current weather and environmental conditions and their implications on our health. And we have Elder Samuel Oting with us in the studio. Good evening again, Elder.
Good morning. Good evening once again.
Yeah. So we're talking about our environment today.
Yes.
So our weather has been looking a bit odd lately. But weather and then we have a climate. Are they the same thing when we talk about weather and climate?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let me thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah.
And secondly, say hello to our viewers for being with us.
Yeah.
I believe that at the end of the day, we share very good ideas that will help all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, weather and climate, they are related.
Okay.
Yes, when we say weather, is a general atmospheric condition.
Okay.
In relation to how it look like, whether it's moisture or whether it's dry, and in that order. So that is what we are talking about. We say weather.
Okay.
Then the climate is the average weather in a given area.
Okay.
over a certain period of time. But this time we are talking of a longer period of time.
Okay.
But not just 1 day, 2 days. Sometimes you can even talk of decades.
Okay.
So that is what is meant by the climate.
The climate. Okay.
So you can see that they are related.
Yeah.
This one is talking about the condition of the atmosphere, how it look like.
Yeah.
Then this one is also talking about the average weather condition
Yeah.
at a particular time
Yeah.
over a period of time, whether it is in relation to temperature, it can relate to the rainfall, it can relate to the sunshine nature, and,
Okay.
and what have you. So that is what it is used for. So
Okay.
sometimes you use it interchangeably, but they are not the same. They are two different altogether. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what has the pattern of Ghana's climate been like over maybe a few years now?
Yes, I think you know that Ghana is a tropical, we are in the tropical zone. So ordinarily, we expect that we will not be in such a hot weather.
Okay.
Yes, but unfortunately, due to certain activities, some of them are human-induced or developmental-induced, and which is also natural. You cannot sit down without developing.
Yeah.
You have to develop, which has brought about all those things. So because of that, you can see that over the decades, you can go back to 90s or even 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, the millennium and what have you. You can see that there have always been changes. And that is why we found ourselves in this situation.
Yeah.
This weather that we experience, and you can see that we've never experienced from before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is more or less gradually going up and going up. And it is not only the Harmattan situation. You can also compare it to the rainfall pattern.
Yeah.
You see, over the years, June, July used to be the major rainy season. But now it has almost changed.
Yeah.
It's been observed for some years. You can see that it's even raining more in October, November, even more than the June, July.
Yeah.
And that tells you that we are experiencing a lot of weather changes or climate change in the whole environment. And that calls for alarm, because if you don't change and probably do something to improve it, it will get to a time, just as you are saying, the weather situation today, per the air quality index that we have, that have been publicized in so many areas, tells you that we are going from good to worse. And that means that when it happens that way, there are so many people who will be at risk, especially people with underlying conditions, and people with their children, and those who cannot actually cope so much when there's a change in weather or when there is a situation difficult for them.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to do something about it. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But what are some of these factors that are accounting for this change in climate that we see?
There are numerous factors, but like I told you, one of the fundamental issues is we need to develop.
Yeah.
And you are aware, if you go to Genesis, God gave us the land, and we said we should replenish it. And if you understand the word replenish means that take it and replace. But this is the case, we take, we don't replace. So there are so many factors, and all of them mostly have to do with something that we are doing with the land.
Yeah.
So it could be agriculture, it could be industrialization, it could be the urban development.
Yeah.
It could even come from market, it should come from industries, it could come from so many places.
Yeah.
But I think the common one that we can look at is probably a key land degradation, including forest degradation, which is very, very important in accounting for these things. We can also talk of, when you narrow it down to the air quality, which is now becoming a topic, you can talk of the particulate matters that are actually becoming a problem. You know, the particulate matter is a proxy indicator for air pollution.
Okay.
So once you have that, and there are so many components in it, we have the sulfates, we have the nitrate, we have the ammonia, sodium, chloride, the black carbon, and mineral dust and water. When you mention the particulate matters, and you see that it is changing from good to worse, and you have all these materials there, then it tells you that when you inhale, you have issue with the upper respiratory system, or probably through the lungs, because that one you inhale, but you don't swallow it. You inhale it, and this is very, very serious. We can also talk of carbon monoxide, which is mostly coming from burning of fossil fuel. Okay. You understand? The fuel that we burn, mostly from vehicles and from industrial activities, that creates that kind of problem also for us. The carbon monoxide is also so poisonous, and it's not good for us. Yes, especially when it passes through the threshold. Okay. The WHO as well as Ghana have standard for all these indicators. So once it goes above it, then it means that it is poisonous and it's not good for us. So in our daily activities, we burn petrol. You burn the fuel, the charcoal, the natural gas, and kerosenes, and all those things. In doing that, it has to be done appropriately. So let's take the typical of vehicle. If you have a vehicle and the vehicle is emitting above the standard, it means that you have to do something about the vehicle. Either you change the engine or retool the engine, or probably, as you call, you repair the engine. We don't have to allow it to happen that way. Whether it's diesel engine, whether it's petrol engine, something has to be done about it. So I think these are some of the things. There's something that is also called methane gas. You know, our refuse, our waste, there are appropriate channels of taking away our refuse to a very big area where it is processed appropriately. Unfortunately, we have become so recalcitrant that we all don't want to follow the procedure. The MMDs, the Metropolitan Municipal District Assemblies, have put in place measures, and I'm very sure that in every community there are containers, big ones. In so many places there are waste bins. Even if it's not there, the law of Ghana says that everybody is responsible for the disposal of your own waste. So the waste coming from your home or your house or your community or your industry or wherever it's coming from, you are responsible for it. So whatever the district assemblies have designated as the collection center, that is where it has to be deposited. Whether it is solid, whether it is moisture or whatever it is, that is where it has to be. The liquid waste also have to be channeled and treated very well by appropriate means. Unfortunately, you can imagine or you can see that it looks like most of the communities and even at the backyard of houses have become refuse dumps. It is not just even refuse dump, and it's always being burnt. Then by burning all this waste, there's something that we don't like, especially the plastics. When there are plastics and when there are rubbish, when you burn, it goes into the atmosphere, and they all go and change the weather and affect the pollution level. So all these things are things. So you can even see that something that is so industrial activity, people tend to do it manually in their own way. Burning of car tires, vehicle tires. You can see people pack tires in so many cars, go and stay in a bush somewhere. Maybe sometimes not even in a bush, sometimes on the roadside. Then they burn it with the whole intention that they're removing copper or something from the car tire, without taking cognizance of the effects of that activity. So all these activities have accumulated and making this kind of climate change that we are experiencing today. But let me just be quick to say that we have the global climate change, and we have the micro. The micro refers to wherever you live. Like for example, we can talk of Ghana. We can talk of maybe here is Osu. We can have different climate here, which may be different from one at Atamasamai. It may be different from maybe Kwaribu You understand? So there's that aspect too. So that is why sometimes some of the international people will say that we are not polluting so much. When they come to the global, in terms of our contribution, it might not be too much.
Okay.
However, it will affect us
Yeah.
at the micro level. So we still need to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because all these things that I mentioned about, you can cast your mind back to a place like Aboboshi, where the burning is going on all the time. And that is not good. And it's not only Aboboshi. There are dust particles that we also generate all the time. It's not only through road construction, through many construction activities, you see the dust being carried on with the movement of vehicles from the bush, people or the tipper trucks going to the borrow pits and bringing the quarry ducks or the sand and the gravels, what that we need for construction, all those things, in attempt to tip it down, and so many things.
Yeah.
So I think all these things have accumulated to generate this kind of mess that we find ourselves today.
Right. So we've heard several times in these few weeks that Accra's air quality is poor. Is it just a problem for Accra, or is it happening in other places as well?
Yes, like I was telling you, we have the air quality index, and we have it across the country.
Okay.
However, this reading is for Legon. It is an air quality index for Legon.
Okay.
And its environment.
Okay.
So if you look at the situation I told you, it is coming from the vehicular movements or carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
It is coming from burning of these tiles and plastic, the waste. It's also coming from other sources. And most of the time, the greens or the trees, they serve as a sink. We call it sink. They absorb these things. You understand? So one look at the fact that you have so many trees around Legon.
Yeah.
So if you have so many trees around Legon, and you are still recording high for Legon, then you just translate it to where there are no trees, or where there are no much activities like Legon. What to be like? You understand?
Yeah.
We have it across the whole country, but this particular indicator is for Legon.
Okay.
We have one for Adabraka,
Okay.
but unfortunately we couldn't get those readings.
Okay.
But I can assure you that the readings at Adabraka is always higher than Legon. Yes, because of the commercial nature of that area and the effect from the Odona and also from Aboboshi.
Okay.
That one has always been very, very high.
Yeah.
So this reading is for only Legon. It's not an indicator of the country, no.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be possible that you put the whole country together, it may be less, or it can be even be more. But coming from Kumasi, there were 6 sample sites that also have this rare reading, and the readings were not different from what we are having at Legon. Yes, so you can imagine if that one is also not different. If you know Kumasi, we were having reading from Santasi area, from Swami, from Odum, from Raga, from airport area.
Okay.
This is where we were having the readings from. There were about 6.
Okay.
And Kasi, which is the industrial area.
Okay.
So if you are having reading from these areas and they are not quite different from now, then it tells you that there's something. And there is always a trend. The reading tends to be very high during the period of Harmattan. That is from November to February.
Yeah.
That has been a trend. It has always been high, but it has not been high as now.
Okay.
Because at this time, it has even gone to the level of getting to very unhealthy, enriching, hazardous. So you say something is hazardous, then it means that anybody being exposed to it have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Either by way of masks, a very good mask, not just ordinary masks. Yes, you have to be very frank. Some of the masks are not masks. Even sometimes respirator. You're talking of respirator. You have to be protected by that.
Okay.
Then secondly, in the event of not going out to do anything, it's better you stay home. If you don't have anything doing outside, don't go. Just stay home. Maybe your house might have a very better micro climate, so that you'll be there. You don't go out, and you need to also assess yourself with so much water, because you need to hydrate yourself with so much water, so that your system can work very, very well, so that you don't get into any difficulty. Yeah, so I think basically that's what I would say. I was thinking that we were going to show it so that we explain. But what I can say is that it is mostly has to do with the levels start from green.
Okay.
When it's green, it means that it's good.
Okay.
It is right within the WHO standard.
Okay.
Then you move to yellow. And once you move to yellow, then of course it is not good. Yes, it is not good. Yellow means that it is getting above the threshold, and once it's getting above the threshold, it is not something that we should be proud of, because it means that we are gradually getting to the situation where we find ourselves in such situation that we were talking about. Those activities that we are engaging ourselves are also the factors that take us to that level, and we need to seriously take a very look at that. So the yellow is moderate. You say it is moderate, even though it is not good, but it is moderate. You move to orange. The orange means that unhealthy for sensitive groups. Yes, it means that it is not so bad. However, people with conditions, asthma, children, pregnant women, the aged, these are mostly the people that have conditions, because when you get to that situation, your immune system, I think the doctor will be able to tell us more, your immune system becomes so low that the least attack, then you are affected. So it means that you need to be more protected, because that's why we call them sensitive people or group. Then you move on to red. Then the red means that, I think the red, as you know, is very it's not good thing. You show you red card, it means you are going home. So the red is unhealthy. It means it's completely unhealthy. This time is not unhealthy for certain groups, unhealthy for everybody. And we need to be very cautious. Then you move to, I don't know whether this is deep red or mauve or whatever. Then it means that it's very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. Very, very high. Then you move to the deep red. Then it means hazardous. And when you see something is hazardous, it means it's poisonous. It's completely poisonous. And it's not good at all for anybody. So I think that if you look at the chart that I sent to them currently or today the weather, the reading, the air quality index reading at Legon put us at unhealthy for sensitive groups. That is where it has put us. Yes. Fortunately or unfortunately, it was in January, getting to the end of January and February, early February, it was hazardous. But fortunately for us, it has improved. So it has come back. It started coming down to very unhealthy. It came to unhealthy, and it's now on unhealthy for sensitive groups. So I think we are lucky. I think over the last week it came to yellow, which was moderate. So what we are praying is that, at least for nothing at all, if it remain at yellow, is better than getting to the unhealthy or healthy for sensitive group. Yes. So, and all these things are coming from the activities that I was talking about. One thing we need to also know is that whether we like it or not, after development will develop. The industries will be there. Let me just be quick to say something, that's some impression that people have. When you talk of pollution, people tend to say, oh, it's the industry. But I can assure you that it's not the industry, because the WHO standard and the Ghana standard that we have, all the industries, we call them control environment.
Okay.
Because the Environmental Protection Agency, together with key stakeholders, are able to control them. In other words, all their environmental quality indices are measured.
Okay.
It's not only air, both air, noise, and water. We measure the water quality, we measure the air quality, we measure the noise quality. And at any point in time, whenever any of them is going above the threshold, they are warned. They are warned to do A, B, C, D, to put some technology to address it.
Okay.
And they do. Those who fail to do, they are mostly shut down.
Okay.
Yes. So we call them control environment.
Okay.
They report themselves. There is a form of self-assessment where they report then themselves that this week we were that, last month we were this, last 3 months we are that or this. The Environmental Protection Agency also go in to check whether really the figures they are producing is correct or it's not correct with our own machines.
Okay.
Yes, but they also have the responsibility to do it themselves and report documented paper for us to keep on track.
Right.
So most of the time you realize that most of this pollution, it doesn't come from them. But it comes from the other side, which is the uncontrolled environment. Like I was telling you, you take Adabraka, you take Osu, you take Aboboshi, Kwalebu, Abosokan, Kanishi, Circle, and what have you mentioned? Even the Legon, East Legon, or whatever it is, it's uncontrolled. Like I was telling you, everybody tend to develop or devise his or own way of doing something. And that one, you cannot tell every individual homes to measure air quality, to measure noise, to measure water quality. No, you can't do that. So these are uncontrolled environment. So I think these are the areas that we need to be very, very serious about. And to me, or to us, the Environmental Protection Agency, you know, the act that establishes gives us 19 functions. And one of them is to check the air quality, environmental quality of the environment. In checking that we are appealing to all to have attitudinal change. Yes, and always forget about saying the industry. It's not the industry, it is us. We form the larger population of these pollutants, and we need to be very, very serious about it. Yes.
Thank you so much, Older. I think we have Dr. Asante now. Hi, Dr. Asante. Hi, Dr. Asante, can you hear us? Okay, so we don't have Dr. Asante here. Okay, so Elder, you've mentioned the Environmental Protection Agency as the main authority. So these industries report directly to the Environmental Protection Agency?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but at the local level, say in our homes, the roadsides and things, which authorities are responsible for people burning and doing the other uncontrolled stuff?
Yes, thank you very much. I think we work in collaboration with the district assemblies.
Okay.
The district assemblies are in charge of all development and all activities going on in each assembly. So they have what we call the development planning. It's the district assembly that are rightly in charge of that.
Okay.
But we work in collaboration with them. But when it comes to the core mandate or core function, it is them. that have to handle that.
Okay.
Environmental Protection Agency is also represented in some of the assemblies. Yeah, the whole Ghana, we have all the regional of capitals or the regions have environmental agency represented at the regional capital.
Okay.
But in the district, we are not all. We have about 10 district offices that take charge of certain collection of districts, maybe number of districts. Some have 10 districts, some have 5, 6, 7, and what have you. So that is what we do. And we do collaborate with the district assemblies. And we are aware that almost all, in fact, all the district assemblies have what they call district environmental health, district environmental management plans. And out of that, they work out to make sure that they implement all these policies. But we, the agency, believe that sometimes the casual nature of us, because I can assure you that nobody in Ghana today doesn't know that you don't have the right to throw rubbish outside, but he or she will do it.
Yeah.
Then, at the branch out of the law, and turn around to go and blame somebody else. Yes, and it's a problem. And nobody in the car business, in the vehicle transport business, I'm not sure anybody is aware that when you see the fumes coming from your exhaust, it's not good. You don't have to do anything. Everybody knows it, but they will just be working with it, and that is problematic. So I think that when we all realize that we have a key role to play in the management of the environment, it is not only the district assembly or the environmental protection that have to sit on you to do something. We are all mature. I think, Doc, you are aware that Ghana, there are so many educated people, and there are so many enhanced people that have been sensitized on some of these things in so many seminars, meetings, even on the radio stations. My executive director, Honorable Kukufu, go to radio station almost all the time. I myself go a lot. The regional directors go to the stations all the time. The assemblies are also doing the education, and there are so many things that are going on. Yet, because there's no police standing there to check that, but we cannot also have police standing everywhere because they are all resources. So I think that we need to know our right very well, especially to me as an Adventist, because we believe that we have the key and serious responsibility to take care of the environment that God has given to us. And He said we should replenish it. He didn't say we should destroy it.
But are there any sanctions for people who break these?
Oh yes,
laws?
there are sanctions.
Okay.
Yeah, there are sanctions. There are instances that the district assemblies have even prosecuted people for sanitation offenses. You know, formerly it used to be called saman.
Yeah.
You remember? Yes. You come to your house, and if you are not even careful, even the dirt on the wall, they will charge you. You understand? Yeah. So the people throwing rubbish anyhow or anywhere without any due process, and they take them to court. I remember in Kumasi about a year ago, there were some houses or facilities that were connecting. I've learned they are connecting their waste, liquid waste, into the gutters. Yes, they were caught and were prosecuted. Yeah, there were some prosecution in the papers here in Accra here, where people were fined and in certain sums of money. Some of them were very huge amount. Yet people want to do it. So I think that's it. So there are challenges. There are sanctions. For the agency, like I told you, we also do sanction industries. Yes. For the industries, what we do with them is the crucial is the last resort. We sit down with them for them to tell us any technology that they can use to address particular defects. So whenever they are not meeting the targets, we ask them to tell us what they will do. What appropriate technology can they use? So that is what happens. And most of the time it works. Even though sometimes not over a week or two, sometimes months, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, but it works. But the good news for us is that You know, formerly throwing the rubbish away was so difficult. For example, the rubbish and the rubbish, the papers, and the plastics. But today, we have so many companies that are recycling it.
Yeah.
So it is no more even free. The so-called waste has become resources.
Yeah.
It's a raw material for industries. I don't know much in Accra here because I just came. But I know Kumasi we have about 11 industries that were recycling plastic and rubbish. Yes, that people can go there.
Okay.
Even the papers, especially the white ones, these ones, when you are throwing that way, they can access it and recycle it. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
I think it is no more a challenge for us to do. And they will buy it. So I think the best for us to, all of us, to make sure that we don't throw them away. You just keep them, accumulate them. When you get to a certain level, you call EPA, they will let the people come. They will buy it, give you the money. It may not be much in a way, but it is better for you to do something. Yes. So there are sanction regimes, and there are also encouragement process for others to have attitudinal change, so that we all have the much desired environment that we want to have.
So we've mentioned the different colors and the different stages. How is it read? Is it read on a daily basis?
No.
Okay.
It is not on a daily basis. You know, we indicate it. We measure it every day.
Okay.
Yes, because the machine is there permanently. So it reads every day. So we pick it 24 hours.
Okay.
Yes. So it changes. I think I send the results to the producer.
Yeah.
You can see that it's been reading red. Let's see. Yesterday, for example, was very unhealthy. Yes, very unhealthy. 25th, the same thing.
Yeah.
25th, the same thing. 23rd, it was also the same. Yes, but 21st, it was moderate.
Okay.
Yes, 21st was moderate.
Okay.
20th was unhealthy. So it's like it goes and comes down. Yes, in that order. 19th was unhealthy. So I think there are so many. 17 was moderate.
Okay.
17 was moderate. 15 was unhealthy. Yes.
But is there anything in the environment that we can see as lay people and say, okay, maybe today looks unhealthy or today looks better? Is there something that we can
mechanically you cannot see unless you use machine.
Okay.
Unless you use machine.
Okay.
But at least, you know, during the hammer time, when you look at the environment, atmosphere, you see that changes.
Yeah.
Yes, you see that the visibility, the blockage of the sunlight, and you see even sometimes it affects rain. It gives some acid rain, and so many things. So visibly you can, I think if you see the particles, the dust, at least you can see. When there's dust particle, you can see.
Yeah.
And those ones you can see. But those other, like you can see the sulfate. You can see the nitrate. You can see that one. You can see those ones. You can see unless the machine tells you that it is there. So even the measurements are done in not in ones. We have the PM, the particulate matter 2.5.
Okay.
We have 5. Then we have 10.
Okay.
Yes, in levels to know the size or the quantum or the level for the particulate matter. So it's measured in different categories.
Okay.
So that is how it is done. So those ones, unless it's measured, you can see.
You can.
Just like going to tell somebody that you are making noise. If you don't measure, you cannot say you are making noise, because there's a machine to measure it. And there are every sector have the level that they have to meet.
Okay.
For example, if the place is education area has to be given different level. Residential have different, industrial have different, Light industrial have different, commercial area have different. You cannot take USU levels to Circle. Circle is predominantly commercial area.
Yeah.
So there are different category of levels for each of them. Yes. So I think that is how it is. So you have to, but at least the dust you can see.
Yeah.
Yes. And the fog you can see.
Yeah.
You can see the fog. Yes. That is how it is.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there are some masks that are recommended over others. Which ones should we be wearing during these times?
Yes, ordinarily, some of the masks, you can see that they are heavy.
Okay.
When you are buying, you can see they are very heavy. That is the best.
Okay.
Yes, you remember during the COVID time, a lot of masks came. Some very light. Those ones are not good for us.
Okay.
Because after all, you are protecting something. So if you want to wear, you have to wear a better one to protect yourself. Yes. But ideally, the best one to protect is the respirator. That one, when you wear, it has so many ingredients and things there that protect you better.
Is that the N95? Or
no, not N95. We call it respirator.
Okay.
Yes, that one is very expensive.
Okay. Okay.
So not everybody who can buy it.
Okay.
It's more than 100 cedi per one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's very expensive.
Is that disposable?
Yeah, over a period.
Okay.
That one can be wear over a period.
Okay.
It's not once.
Okay.
Unlike the mask, that is wear once.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But apart from the mask we mentioned and then also hydrating, are there other things that we can do to ensure that the effects are not so much felt?
Yes, apart from the masks, what we can also do is to, like I told you, to stay indoor.
Yeah.
If you don't have so much important to do outside, don't go out. Just stay indoor and do your thing. You know, sometimes we tend to go out without necessarily going to do anything. Yes, those ones we need to stop it.
Yeah.
Then also, you know, like the one I sent to you the last time, Environmental Protection Agency, because of the climate change, I think people are downplaying the problem of climate change.
Yeah.
But it is very rare. It is not only the whites or the developed countries that are being affected. The climate change is resulting into sea rising, the high temperatures, the changes in the rainfall pattern. Like I told you, the climate change is referring to significant variation or change in the average weather condition. And it's not talking of over a short period.
Yeah.
It's over a very long lifespan.
Yeah.
Or period, typically over decades. Yeah. So look yourself. You can just reflect 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, how the environment was. You can see. I think physically, if you haven't even measured anything, you can see that there have been a change.
Changed, yeah.
Yes, in terms of temperature.
Yeah.
The temperature has risen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sea is the same thing, getting affected.
Yeah.
You understand? So this climate change issue that we are talking about is very, very rare, and we all need to put our shoulders on the wheel. There are aspects of from the tropical regions that we can do. It's about planting of trees or maintaining the vegetation. Because you maintain the vegetation, it absorbs so many things. Like I told you, it's a carbon sink.
Yeah.
And we need to increase settings in order to reduce the carbon. Because it's very difficult to reduce the carbon if you don't do certain activities. So that is what we call the climate actions. Those things that we need to do. Sometimes the way we even built,
Calling all churches, join the National Bible Bee.
You will think that the Messiah appears only in the New Testament. But which text? In the Old Testament, the Anglican Church of Ghana.
Isaiah chapter 53, verse 4 to 7.
And that is correct. So 15 words are scattered on a crossword sheet. They would need to identify all the words within 3 minutes. Now, the person who finishes within the time first also win an extra 3 points.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to participate in the National Bible Bee. Register your church today and inspire the youth in your congregation to dive deep into God's Word. Register now and inspire the next generation. For more information, contact us at 0248 176916 or 0508 080774. Email nbbghana@gmail.com. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the youth within your church community.
What has this current climate gotten to do with our health? What's the impact that it's going to have on our health?
Yes, thank you very much, and good to all your church.
Yeah.
So basically, we are in the Ramadan season. Once this season comes, in terms of our health, we encounter a lot of problems, especially from respiratory systems and from people with an already existing medical conditions that are affecting their respiratory systems.
Yeah.
So, it's a dry season, which is carrying a lot of dust, right, with relatively low humidity.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that sense, we intend to unconsciously breathe in a lot of irritants and allergens that tends to irritate our nasal cavity, which is our nose, right, our nose linings, going down to our throat.
Yeah.
So, in effect, what happens is that inflammation sets in.
Okay.
Where we tend to have all these catarrh illnesses. We tend to have what we call common cold, what we call nasopharyngitis, where your nasal cavity is inflamed and your throat is also inflamed, right? It can eat down the breathing, lower breathing systems, right? Where your breathing systems, the bronchus and all that can get inflamed, getting bronchitis and all that. And if it's left unmanaged, it can trickle down to the lung tissue itself, and pneumonia can develop. So it has a whole lot of implications, and especially those with existing conditions like asthma, right, who are usually having issues with irritants and allergens. These particles can trigger a crisis where they will have, sudden shortness of breath, they will be breathing fast, they will be coughing here and there, having chest tightness and pains and what have you. Those with already an existing chronic obstructive bronchial disease and all that, can also trigger their symptoms and all right? Yeah. So, and a whole lot. So, and even with people with sickle cell disease, all right, because of the dry nature of the season, right, the Harmattan, they tend to a lot of the time dehydrate because you see the dry season mops off the moisture of the skin. Okay, so there's always the tendency to dehydrate and want to drink a lot of water. So they tend to have sickle cell crisis where they have pains in their bones, and also we advise that such people under that category take precautionary measures seriously. That's why GMA came up with a memo, a letter, indicating that we such people in that category, and also children under 12 and those under 65 years where their immune systems are of a challenge in that category, we should take precautionary measures to avoid the damaging side effects of this weather.
Yeah, right. Doc, what are some of these precautionary measures that we should take, and also for the vulnerable? What are some of these measures?
All right. So thank you. So basically, as it was well spelled out, right, in the letter that came out, right. So we are talking about it's a dry season, right? So dry season comes with a lot of dehydration because you see the relatively low humidity at times in the middle of the day causes a lot of sweat. So there's a tendency to dehydrate. So then we advise that you should hydrate, taking a lot of water. All right. If you are already having all these existing medical conditions, your medications, be regular on your medications and be regular on checkups. Avoid, visiting or getting into overcrowded areas where oxygen saturation levels may be low, especially those with asthma, emphysema, and other respiratory chronic medical conditions, we try, if it's not necessary, we advise that you abstain from such areas. We should put on the nose mask, the nose mask which covers your nose and your mouth to protect aerial particles, irritants, and pathogens from setting off a trigger, all right, causing catarrh and all those discomfort I earlier mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, and if you're a sickle cell patient on medications, we advise to take your medications, do all the aforementioned, precautionary measures, and then again taking a lot of water. Because then this water helps in the transport of oxygen with the hemoglobin to all the various vital organs, okay, so that you don't get into crisis and what have you.
Yeah.
It carries a lot of dust, you see, and we are living in a time where you see the earth revolves around the sun. And in our part of the world, when the earth revolves around the sun, there's change in weather pattern. Because obviously, in the savannah, sub-Saharan belt, we are talking about rainy season and dry season. Okay, so we are in that season. And the issue also with this season is that the advent of global warming and climate change is making things more worse. All right, so we know that there are side effects to harmattan and all that. But then the activities of global warming or climate change through burning of fossil fuels, emissions of gases, from factories and industries, distorts the pattern of these changes and makes the negative side effects we already know with harmattan worse or deteriorating. Okay, so it's important that the EPA check these things out as well and make sure that we do more, education, on some of these things so that we cut down on our emissions.
Yeah, Doc, recently we've heard of a confirmed case of meningitis. Does this have anything to do with the weather change, or is there any association with it?
Yes. So you see, the thing is this, for us, meningitis oftentimes occurs in the northern belt of Ghana. We're talking about Upper East, Upper West, and even the newly created region. The fact of the matter is that you see, these areas are close to the northeast western Sahara Desert. Okay, so beginning from the ending part of November to the middle part of March, and can even carry on through into June. The desert blows a lot of sun, crosses the Atlantic, right, through those areas, right, into West Africa, the West African, belt. So when that happens, okay, there is low humidity, relatively low humidity, even though sporadically you can have high humidity in between here and there, and then the temperature is very high. So this sand, all right, this dust, which is a lot, loads of that, is breathed in, and once it's breathed in, studies have shown that it distorts the lower respiratory systems, right, or what we call the pharyngeal regions. And what happens is that it makes the pharyngeal area susceptible to the germs that causes meningitis.
Okay.
All right. So we are talking about Streptococcus pneumonia, H. influenza, Haemophilus influenza. We are talking about germs like Neisseria meningitidis, which is the strain of meningitis, which causes a lot of epidemics, pandemics throughout the world and in West Africa and all that. So the dust, the loss of dust that we breathe in, gets into our pharyngeal areas and space and makes those areas very susceptible. So one breathes in, okay, and easily catches the condition. And again, it also comes with a lot of heat.
Yeah. Okay,
it comes a lot of heat. So the germs tend to also thrive very well in that heat as well. So the loss of dust, the heat makes our system very susceptible, especially if you are within those areas, the northern belt and all that, talking about the Upper East and all these areas, right? It makes you susceptible to the condition. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. It looks like we are out of time now, but I'll take your final comments, Dr. Asante.
All right. So again, we keep on advocating and cautioning people to take the precautionary measures seriously. All right.
Yeah.
We already know the effects of harmattan. Experts may have had experiences here and there, so it's important that they adhere to the instructions. But then, with the activities of global warming and climate change, it has made this already side effect that we know very, very bad and even very worse. So it is important that everyone put on your nose mask, wash your hands. The infection preventive protocols that we started during the COVID time, let's maintain it. Hydrate. If you're on medication, make sure you take your medications, right? If you're not feeling well, you can probably start off with over-the-counter medication, paracetamol, or maybe vitamin C, cough syrup, and then if you realize that you don't see much improvement, you visit any nearby facility. Okay, right. Asthmatic patients, sickle cell patients, and people with heart problems and all that, age group 65 years and above, those below 12 years and who are very susceptible to the condition, should do very well to also, take these precautionary measures seriously and visit their hospitals, their various health centers for reviews when their time is due for that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Asante. Elder, I think I'll take your final comments now too.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. In addition to the protocols that Doc just said, I want to say that from a mental point of view, we want to encourage people to have attitudinal change. Let's say have the spirit of I can do. I think we can do anything. I've told you, don't let us burn the rubbish. It is very, very paramount to all these things. Let us make sure that all the issues of climate change are taken on board, wherever we find ourselves. Don't let us doubt the impact and effect of climate change, because it is very rare. And wherever we are, let us all tell our people or other people that we know that there's a problem of climate change. Beginning of November, EPA issued statement that the Harmattan was going to be intensified. In February, we did the same thing. So I think it tells you that we are all at risk, and we need to change our attitude towards some of these things, so that at the end of the day we can reduce the impact. After the climate change, to be there. Yeah. But we need to adapt ourselves to it, so that we don't get so much of the effect. And by that, I'm sure most of us, I think the larger percentage of us, we are Christians. Let us read the Bible. Let us read Genesis chapter 1:28. And what God told us to do is to replenish the earth. But He didn't take us to take all the things that are in the land and leave it. Replenish means that you take one, you have to add two to it. So I think by that, I'm very sure that we can be safe.
Right. Thank you so much. The climate is changing, but let's do what we can in our own small way to make this environment better for all of us. This has been the Consulting Room. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good night, and we hope to see you again soon.